professionals. Today, we're joined by the one and only Ms. Lauren Petrullo, founder and CMO, of Mongoose Media and M3 Coach. Lauren's decade-spanning expertise has earned her the title of Destruction Queen as she fearlessly revamps strategies of Fortune 500 giants. We're so excited to get to talk to you today, Lauren. We're going to be going into the world of holiday campaigns and how companies need to start prepping for those, discover strategies to master the dynamic landscape of holiday marketing. Again, as a reminder, if you're able to, please turn on your cameras, as we love to see your smiling faces. As always, have fun and engage in the chat. If you have any questions, please put those in the Q&A tool down at the bottom. And then today, if Mark looks a little different, that's because we're joined by Michelle Knight, our digital marketer, community manager. She is no stranger to the community across our Slack channels and Facebook groups. So without further ado, Michelle, please take it away.
All right. I love that we're continuing the joke of I am just Mark. I'm better Mark because I'm here. No, I'm kidding. Love you, Mark. Don't get mad at me. But as we roll on in, all right, Lauren, I have to ask, because it's obviously something that stands out from like your bio. How did you become known as the Destruction Queen?
Through being less than polite for people towards their projects. Like there's someone has an ego of like, look at my beautiful baby. I've worked so hard on this project. And then I'm like, let me destroy all of your emotional confidence. Like the emotional damage has been the situation. It's just that like when I've gotten hired to give my opinion, I'm not the person that will placate. I'm not the individual that will say like, oh, this is so pretty when your offer is not. So it's just like just ripping and shredding apart offers, landing pages, and supporting collateral where, you paid me for my opinion. Here it is. I'm not your mother. Your baby is not pretty. I will destroy every piece of it, but I'll give you the opinion that's based off of like millions and millions of dollars of successful ad campaigns and that kind of stuff. Don't get on her.
Some people need that. They, as Ryan and you say, they need to have someone tell them that their baby is ugly. If your baby's ugly, I'm sorry. But someone has to say it. But I love that, especially being a woman. I love that it's like, I came through and I was like, this is awful. We can fix it though. Like destroy them a little, but then build them back up.
Yeah. Break them down to nothing at the same time. But it's like a lot of times we'll see like VC back stuff or like small startups and just like you're putting your focus and energy on the pieces that don't matter. Oh, this button color, is it green or is it orange? I don't care. Who is the obvious audience? Like it literally doesn't matter. You're asking about a detail which is so insignificant that no one's gonna even get to that part of the page. Let's take it back a level.
Okay, but team green and blue buttons, just saying. So I'd like to know.
Team clear call to actions.
Fair enough. Okay, we'll meet in the middle here. Clear CTAs with pretty buttons.
Feels.
That's where we're going. We're here to talk about holiday campaigns. So I'll stop stalling and we'll get right into it. The holiday season is approaching much faster than people know. In fact, it's already Halloween in my house, just saying. What are some key trends and changes in consumer behaviors that agencies should be aware of going into this season? Which, by the way, you should have already started if you haven't.
June. You should have started in June. I like when Michelle and I were talking about this, I was like, if you haven't started July, like you're behind. But it's okay. It's not like you're still, if you start in the next 3 weeks to like the D-Day of the Western holiday market. So Black Friday is a quintessential like Western holiday market. Recognize that like Singles Day is obviously a bigger holiday out east. Depending on everyone in the audience's companies, it's going to change drastically. Like if you have like an e-commerce store, there's major changes that have happened to disrupt platforms. If you're running ads, if you're doing high ticket professional services types of products, more trends that we're seeing specifically are going to be on the clarity of your offer and the follow-up of your communications. Of course, it's an overly crowded, saturated space. Just talking about the ad buying platform, September 15th is that D-Day of when platforms tell us, like we have really close relationships, like it's the day CPMs go up, CPMs being your cost per 1,000 impressions. So you should expect to be paying 1 to 2 times more than what you're usually paying, and get that number higher and higher the closer you get to actual Black Friday, which is the Friday after Thanksgiving. I blame Jeff Bezos and his team from turning Black Friday from a day, then a weekend, then a week, then a month. His dang Prime Day moved to be like a month before Black Friday 2 years ago. And now it's just it's like sales exhaustion, because you have, like, just speaking time frame. Now until September 15th, it's, cost as usual. Summer tends to be really slow, especially in the e-commerce space. It's just people are traveling, people are like not buying commercial products or even like services because they don't have the time to make themselves available. But they are buying in experiences. However, kids are back to school. People are back to their desks. They're in front of their desktops more. They're putting aloe all over their sunburned faces. The September 15th D-Day keeps going up. October, you're going to see a lot more sales start because people are going to try to get ahead of that. Let's use pumpkin spice as the example, right? Pumpkin, we think of November, October. You said Halloween. Michelle's got pumpkin stuff by her house, but people are going to start wanting pumpkin spice in September because it's like, oh, fall. I can see, I'm in Orlando, Florida. It's summer from January to January. Okay. There's no winter. There's no other season. It's just summer. So a lot of folks are going to expect fall flavors like pumpkin spice in September, but you see major brands like Starbucks tends to launch their pumpkin spice earlier and earlier every year. So, it's August 25th. I bet you someone has seen a pumpkin spice updated board at a Starbucks. I don't drink coffee, so full disclosure, that's not my vibe. But just as that is, you're going to see October, a lot more brands start encroaching on sales. So whether you're in e-commerce or in services, just be mindful. September 15th, close you get to Black Friday. And then what happens is between Black Friday and December 15th is the time of get stuff in time for Christmas. Or if you're in the services space, get it so that they know that they're gifting it to someone for the holiday. So if you're investing in your partner to get a coach, if you're investing in a course, really good language to be mindful of is after Thanksgiving up to like New Year's is if you have a high ticket product. So I'm saying anything that's over like $3,000, you can use really smart language about how you'll get this as a tax write-off in this calendar year if you're advertising to the US market. I'm giving like so many things that like are kind of all over the place. So I apologize. I understand why like we start in June.
Because there's a lot to happen. And by the way, the PSL did launch. So it's August.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
And you can get that. Just letting y'all know, I'm not a PSL person. However, I am a Halloween and spooky person, and I love the fact that there's a pumpkin involved. I'm kind of curious. So if someone hasn't started yet, what holiday should they aim for? Which was that?
Labor Day.
Monday.
Labor Day sales. If you said which is the most immediate, Labor Day sales is a really good like kick because it's like the biggest holiday before your Black Friday when your consumers are going to expect 20 to 30% off or like pay in full discounts. Now maybe you're like the most immediate one after that. Because you're like September 4th is in like a week and a half.
Yeah, the next one that'll be like not make them want to pull their hair out.
So the next one I would just do, if you can do content that's focused around Halloween, like spooky deals, spooky savings, it's just you have to know that everyone is in a buying mode. Everyone has their credit card like memorized in Q4. So if you can tie it back to Halloween, you'll get the chance to intersect someone in a non-obvious ad while leveraging the holiday. And especially if it's something like spooky savings or like sales so scary that this is the best deal you're going to get. Or whatever that case is, which you're going to start to see because people are going to start their Black Friday sales early. You're going to hit Michelle's inbox because you'll use like a spiderweb emoji in your email campaigns.
Oh yeah, I'm a sucker for that. So anybody who's list time on emojis, gifts, make it spooky themed, even in January, I'm on it. I am your favorite kind of consumer. I do have my card memorized.
Fun ones to do, obviously. We have, so Singles Day is 1/1/1/1. You have November 11th. We've had major success using 2/2/2, like February 22nd. And like when you can use those type of like angel numbers, especially if you're in the service-based business, 11/11, there's Veterans Days, there's things, there's a lot to it. So that's a really good one. Yes, Lillian is all about like the numerology. So that would just be one date I'd put into your calendar. Again, the way you want to stand out this holiday season is know that you're competing against a very heavy inbox. All of the brick and mortars come in, like Best Buy still exists. And they're using like 80% of their budget in the next 3 months and competing against small businesses. And you have like some of the dates we talked about, like that's going to continue on until December 15th, because it's time for Christmas. So whether you're in e-commerce or not, you now have all this additional media buyers putting their bids against yours, which is increasing supply when there's the same amount of demand, more or less, which means cost for you, the advertiser, suck, especially for the conversion stuff. So things that you can be doing if you're not going to jump on Labor Day next weekend, or if like you don't have the capacity to put Halloween centric products or do things around Veterans Day or the 11/11, what I would encourage you to do is focus on building your list. Like you want to let people know, they know Black Friday sale is coming. So there's going to be people that are holding back their spend because they're like, why would I spend extra when it's going to be on sale soon? So you can do like a VIP list where you'll tell people what the Black Friday sales are and then give them early access to it, which is something that works very, very well. And then you get ahead of those customer dollars so that you get them to commit to you. And really good things of how we do that starting in June, July is we ramp up lead generating spend. So we pump out more lead magnets. We pump out value in advance so that we get them to know, like, and obsess about our brand, so that when they're ready to like get ready to upset their significant others with how much they spent this holiday season, you've already been like VIP to the top of that credit card statement.
So let's switch gears a little bit. I'm curious, are there any businesses or niches that shouldn't be participating in certain holidays?
That's okay. Are there any niches that should not be participating in certain holidays? I think at the highest level of it, does it resonate with your brand? The easiest one I go to, like, it's not holiday this time of year, but like Pride. Like if you're going to participate in Pride related sales and campaigns, you need to make sure it's authentic to your brand. Because if you celebrate, or sorry, if you sell to Gen Z and you do Pride wrong, you will be canceled in ways that are really hard to recover from. Mindful of holiday versus Christmas specific, because Hanukkah and even Kwanzaa are still largely celebrated in the US. You just want to be mindful of where your brand is. Now, if your brand is Christian centric, or if your brand is like, you know, we are war on Christmas, great. Just make sure that you own and commit to whatever that is. The biggest place, so I've worked with brands like Disney, major universities in all sorts of different red, blue, purple states. Where they'll mess up is their lack of consistency. Have a backbone with your brand and like own it and be true to it, or, you know, stay for gray, go for holiday, and like be just hyper cognizant of how much more consumers need to understand a product before they buy. Products with purpose, whether you donate in some capacity, like a portion of, let's say you have a certificate, so a masterclass. This is just something that we're testing right now because part of the Black Friday is Giving Tuesday. Does anyone here work with any nonprofits? Did you know that Facebook and other ad channels will give you free money, matching money for Giving Tuesday? So if you haven't, something to do right now, if you work with a nonprofit and you're an agency, is offer services to help them. And we charge like $150 to $400 depending on those things, to like help them get set up with Facebook so that they get the blue check mark. You have to submit your like 301s. There's a lot of numbers. The nonprofits know all those things, but you have to submit documents so that, you know, if you're doing birthday charity giving, or if you're doing Giving Tuesday specifically, we have 2 brands that got $100,000 matching. That money can go far. So if you have a nonprofit, everything needs to gear up for Giving Tuesday. And some of those things that, like, if, again, I'm speaking specifically nonprofit space, is focusing on lead generating assets. People are working on the conversions right now. All they want are sales. There's a lot of people that end of this year won't have businesses anymore. This is their Hail Mary and final stand. So you see desperate people fighting for dollars. If you're not in the desperate place and you say, I'm fighting for subscribers, I'm fighting for engagement, I'm fighting for different areas of our, our customer journey, you're not going to have as much competition. So you can engage with them at lead magnet. And so say you say like, hey, 4 ways that you can make your dollar go farther in 2023 and have a tax incentive. And then maybe you put together a lead magnet that's like, hey, here's ways that you can maximize your donation this calendar year. And then one of it is like, please don't donate for the next 2 months. Donate on Giving Tuesday because you can actually get matching components. So you start to see like, maybe you were thinking of doing $10 now, $20, or you want to do 50, but you're not in a place and you're gonna do a smaller micro donation. Please be considerate of like what we can do on Giving Tuesday and things of that nature. So that's just a really hyper specific example for the holiday season.
Well, it was helpful. Ming is now going to check out and see if that's something available in his area. So yes, Gabriel says that is November 28th of 2023. So
Ming, where are you based?
Singapore.
Okay. Amazing.
Sorry, Ming, I answered for you. I just know, I know my people. So what are some of the essential elements of a successful holiday campaign structure? Like, is there anything specific, like a component that people tend to overlook, or something it's like, I absolutely have to have that or else this is going to be awful?
I'm not going to say this is something you have to have that or it'll be awful. I'll just say one thing a lot of people overlook is the power of gifting. And so it's like group couponing in a massive way. If you have the ability to upsell with a referral and reward the person to buy in bulk or like to do more, that can be 30% additional revenue. So if you have a service, like a high ticket offer, I'm trying to think like who has a business that I could use as an example. If you put a product offer I will give you live examples versus just making ones up. But let's say you're selling a course and you are like, hey, do you know someone else that would benefit from this course? Or do you have people on your team that you'd like to go through this course as well as for a certificate? You do a post-purchase upsell and say, hey, get an additional 5 licenses for your team members, or they'll share it to other people that want to know it. So you get your content out there sooner. And then ideally you have an upsell inside your course. There's this something like Scott actually inspired a lot of it. So we've done the like, send it to someone that needs to buy this for you. Yes. So if you use that type of language, so that it's just like copy that we have used, you want to be controversial. If you can stand out this holiday season and you're not leveraging spooky Halloween sales, you have to know how crowded this market is. If you can be controversial, it's going to be like catch someone off guard, which is why I'm saying be diligent about what you're connecting to on the holiday sales. Own Christmas or own holiday. Choose one, move on. This is the color of the button doesn't matter. Just make a decision. And I lost my train of thought. Darn it. I'm sorry.
That happens all the time. Something that I was thinking about while you were talking in e-commerce, and I think I learned this from Scott outside of just being a consumer, was whenever you're doing a sale, it's like spend $100, get a $25 coupon for your next purchase. Spend $150, get 20% off of your entire order, like those type of things.
Yeah. So that works really well, especially in the hospitality space. So if you have a restaurant or if you have a services, if you work with like local clients, maybe they have like an aesthetic studio, like a spa, and you're buying a gift certificate, you can give them now and later even more. So it really works best for if you buy 100. So this works, more specifically of where we've seen this work with our clients is in December, you've already got your gift. So you're like, hey, let me buy for January, because January is like refund season. It's also New Year, New You. The gyms come. So if we go back to the timeline, December 15th, get it in time for Christmas. A lot of the e-commerce folks leave. Then you have like Christmas to New Year's Eve timeline. Most businesses leave. They're on vacations. So very few people are like actively in their ad campaigns, ad managers, or emailing, unless they're like super prepared, type A, and have everything perfect. We know that's no one. So Christmas to New Year's Day is the exact opposite of supply and demand. Everyone's on social media. Everyone's on their phones. They're on vacation. They're sick of their parents. They're sick of the kids that like are running around, but they're just online looking at like, oh, you're skiing. or, oh, like you're cleaning up your house for the end of the, whatever those pieces are. You have a lot more people online and on their phones than businesses working their marketing stuff. But come January 1st, it's just like, hello, every gym, health and wellness person and their mother until February 15th, when people give up on their New Year's resolutions. So again, just giving you like time dates to be cognizant of. And I put in the chat the like, it's not going to get them what you want. So if you can accommodate the people between December 15th and end of December 31st, and you say, hey, we know you're set for Christmas. Relax, boo. Like, do you enjoy the holidays? Stuff your tummy with turkey, stuff your face with cookies, kiss Santa Claus or Mrs. Claus, whatever. But January, like, set yourself up for success. So you could actually get $120 to our spa for $90 if you buy it in this week. So you set your January slump up for an actual really good time when people are sensitive, they're returning, they're exhausted, they hate that they have to go back to work, they are frustrated, they're not doing their New Year's resolutions, but you come in and you're like, hi, I've got you. Look how much I'm rewarding you for being such a diligent person.
Something that I love about holiday campaigns, and obviously a lot of marketing is emotion based, but in the holidays, it's just like absolutely in your face. You are trying to drum up those emotions of like the happy holidays from when you were a child. If you're me, spooky season, it just makes you happy and like watching all these fun movies and drinking cocoa and all of that good stuff. The holiday campaign very much, I don't want to say attack, but very much hone in on like your warm, fuzzy feelings.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're doing what they want.
For sure. One thing, I know this is holiday specific and we're talking Q4. I just want to, like, you asked earlier about stuff to be sensitive to. Things that we've seen work really well for brands, again, is commitment. For Mother's Day and Father's Day, those are really emotional times too. Not everyone has a mother or a father. Maybe they're not around. So if you have opportunities to opt out and you say, hi, Mother's Day is in 2 weeks. Father's Day is in 2 weeks. We are going to be having mother or father sensitive promotions coming out. We honor and respect that not everyone wants to receive this stuff. If you'd like, would you like to opt out? We increase our email deliverability rate because we get so many emails back of someone saying, thank you. Like they're triggering holidays. So I'm mindful of, I haven't seen the case where like Christmas is a triggering holiday outside of like the political spectrum of things. But if there are elements, this is all around holiday sales. So I'm throwing in like toilet paper on the wall, going all over, like the balloons at the car dealerships.
Oh yeah, the wacky waving inflatable arm 2-man or whatever that's called.
Yeah, I'm like holiday vomiting up a lot of stuff for everyone. So.
Well, it's great. We're gonna get so many clips from this, so I'm totally fine. You keep going. Now I lost my train of thought. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about impact too. So what are some, I'm not specifically asking from you, some innovative ways that agencies can leverage like user-generated content or interactive elements to make their holiday campaigns stand out, especially nowadays when it is very emotional and a lot of the campaigns are like Instagram, TikTok, like you have a lot more available to you now.
Okay, so speaking on user-generated content that you specifically own, I think to stand out from the noise and own it, again, like it's authentic, like you own your brand. Something that like we did for one client, so I don't have many examples. I'm just speaking of what worked really well. We took their worst reviews and we did it in a way like, well, you made the naughty list, customer. You made the naughty list. And so we brought it all out and then had a chance for the customer service team. So they have a team that's super international. And then they had like the faces behind customer service. It was this like minute-long video we had made. There were a few of them where it was like, hey, like I'm a human, not a bot. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Let me, and like do it in a way that was on their brand. And it was just that like, hey, please be nice in this holiday season. Don't make the naughty list. You've made our naughty list, but we will always forgive you because we are grateful that you're a customer, blah, 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 blah. You can take those type of pieces and really run, if it makes sense for your clients' brands. We've pitched that idea to others and they're like, absolutely not. And that's okay. That's just like one little thing that worked well for us. And for them, like their team morale went up because their customer service team in the Philippines and their warehouse people that you don't think that they're the people behind the brand because they have, a tall, beautiful blonde. We'll say that that's not me, but like they have a tall person that looks Hollywood specific. And that's the person that they're putting behind because this individual is a celebrity. Like they're on TV a lot. And so they have a range of products. And we said, hey, look who's supporting this team. Like, it's not just, hey. And the why that works so well is all the customers that are like evangelists were like, oh my gosh, who was like, it seemed like they were warriors. Like they were ready to like throw the gauntlet and come after any of these like impolite 1-star reviews.
A lot. My thought after that was like, oh, a lot. So let's see. What do you think is the best way to utilize data from past holiday seasons to make adjustments for the future holiday season, which is technically now?
So live conversation we had with a client yesterday. They were doing $1,000 a month in July last year. Same time this year, we said we want to do a $50,000 a month before the end of the year. Didn't think it was possible. Now we're saying, hey, we've gotten you to $15,000 a month regularly. We want to do a $220,000 a month end of year. So it's the way we're looking at those things is how much of your last year's sales happened in Q4? What is that in respect to your entire calendar year? If you're doing multiple types of products or you have one-offs, exclude those from the data. So you want to know and anticipate whether it's with inventory or fulfillment, because you cannot let yourself get overbooked and fail in January when you're delivering your what are they called? Group coaching programs or anything like that. The worst you can do is start someone off to a shitty year and be the reason they failed their new year goals. Like if you're selling a service, you're the solution to help them. So you want to look at how much sales you did last year in Q4 with respect to the calendar year. You want to anticipate a similar percentage. And I recommend trying to push for 20% higher so that you know what you can fulfill on and what is possible so that you're making sure your products are stocked now, making sure that you have the deliverable means if you're fulfilling in January. Because a lot of people will say buy now and we start our cohort in January because that's what a lot of things, or like if you're in the agency space and you're trying to get old customers back, like, hey, sign a 6-month agreement, get past this holiday season. We'll do this for you starting to, whatever that type of fulfillment is. Just be super mindful of that.
Wonderful. Data is not my thing, so I get it. But I did want something that you said, people to make note, 20%. I see that question. They're like, what should my new goal be? I'm going to put, I want 50% more. If you can do it, that's amazing. If you could figure out how to get 50%
on it,
go ahead. But I think there's like a nuance to not putting it too low and not putting it too high to make sure that you succeed, but also that you're not under delivering.
Yeah.
So now I'm curious, and I was thinking of this question before this one, but I couldn't figure out how to word it. So how can agencies or consultants, because we know this is for both, foster some deeper engagement with their target audience during the holiday season, considering just how insane this holiday season is, and just like, look at it now. Imagine what it's going to be like 2 months from now.
Okay. So how to do deeper engagement with their customers as an agency or a consultant. I mean, you can post everyone if they want to answer in the chat, but is that engagement a way to be top of mind? Is that engagement to expand the services you're providing? Which would be for your question of, or what people would want to hear, what's that better engagement piece?
I have an idea, but if anybody has anything specific that they wanted, like one of those 3 options that they wanted to talk about, put it in chat.
Expand the suite of services. Okay, Meg. So if you want to expand the suite of services, what's really good right now at this time of year is paid in full or a downsell to a payment plan. Typically, agencies and consultants will do like $3,000 to $5,000 per month. $1,500 is like early entry per month service, $3,000 to $5,000 to the mid-tier, and then you like jump up to like the $10,000 to $15,000 per month contracts. So expanding in that suite of service and how to get them engaging deeper. Modern Media, we have 5 different departments: SEO, social media management, PPC, creative services, and email, like SMS and email. So if we put, it's almost like 5 companies. So let's say we have the email marketing team. We want to expand them into PPC. The way that we would focus on these types of conversations is we send case studies that specifically show the lift that happens. So when you have the PPC managed by the same team that's managing the email, look, now we have email lists that are automatically going into our Facebook audience, so that we are building lookalikes and excluding negative lookalikes. Let's say you have people in let's say you have a customer database of like 4,000 individuals, and of the 4,000 individuals, let's say 2,000 of them signed up for your lead magnet, or 2,000 of them signed up for your lead magnet, scheduled call and didn't show. Well, I want to make those no-shows in your email list be an automatically updating group as a negative lookalike, and be like, I don't want anyone who's not going to show up, like, use those against me. So that cross synchronicity. And the same thing, if you can say like, hey, I'm using Google ads, I'm using Facebook ads, I'm using TikTok ads, or whatever your traffic sources are of growing your subscriber list, you can then start to make specific forms that tell you the quality and measurement. So if you can showcase existing product 1, existing product 2, and where it's 1 + 1 = 3, send case studies at this time, send testimonials of like those clients that are doing both of those services. And then you can, if you're comfortable and able to do it, offer hey, we're booking up for Q1 2024 of these type of services. If you want, you can buy an audit now, and then we'll stack you in for whatever time period you're available to. And then here's the option: if you commit to 6 months, you're going to get a discount on the first and the second service for those type of pieces. If you're able to show what the additional service is and that cross-pollination of the two, that's going to be your strongest use case. Because again, someone just doing ads and someone just doing emails, a lot of the times agencies are working with other agencies, and the brand owner is like 7 different plates. No one's talking to each other. And the strength is in the project management and the inter-team communication. So if you're like, we already have the team, and look, they're meeting every Wednesday, they're talking about these channel acquisitions. Yeah, perfect. Everything in silo. Just be like, hey, like, here's our silo sale. And just be like, if you are working with multiple agencies, or if you have VAs that are wearing 17 different hats, we'd love to take over one of those and look at the impact of 1 + 1 = 3. That would be the language I would do it around.
That is awesome. And it makes complete sense, because why am I going to go to 3, 4, 5 different freelancers agencies to get something done when I have this nifty little agency right here that I'm already working with, who will take me on, and I'll get a discount if I pay in full.
The other thing is, if you have the proof to show what that lift was, that's golden. I mean, that's like literally like such a sexy offer for an obvious audience. But if you don't have it and you're willing to do, like, say you're like, hey, we're expanding into affiliate marketing, and say you're currently you're doing videos, right? And you're saying we're expanding into affiliate marketing. And then you would just say like, hey, like, you can build in a let us prove it to you system, where it's like, if you can put that together offer and just say like, being transparent, we're taking on 2 or 3 clients that we're like, this is what we're going to charge. We're taking 2 to 3 clients at an alpha or a beta perspective. You have to qualify, but we are willing to discount it to it in exchange for an assumed full like net promoter score feedback, what worked, what didn't work. And then that'll help you like gauge pricing too. If you're willing to do it, and to say like, because in a year from now, we want to, if like next year you want to do affiliate and video editing services together, you can do the same, like, hey, look at the examples, but you'll use this quarter to get your 3 alphas, to get your testimonials, to get your examples, so that like you're on the same call next year being like, okay, Lauren, I just made an extra $500,000. It was worth the blood, sweat, and tears of the alpha for the initial one. Oh, I had no. That's so funny. Yes, we'll say I'm a mind reader. Perfect.
Lauren is a mind reader. She knew exactly what one of our attendees here on Zoom was already offering. You know, we're just sneaking information to them. It's fine. So agencies are a little different than like these e-commerce brands that are going directly to the consumer. I know H to H, we're not going to get into that, but I'm curious how agencies can utilize storytelling or like emotional engagement strategies to create lasting connections with their consumers. For example, when they're like you were discussing, like right now, nobody's buying. but they'll want to start buying here soon. And sometimes people have to wait for the budgets to be approved. So how do they use storytelling and emotional engagement to make sure that they are top of mind for consumers?
Spooky background. It's called Russian blue. I just like have the lights really low and close the window because I'm in Florida and it will make me look even more washed out. But like connection. So this agency owner, consultant, reaching out to my customers, reaching out to my prospects, direct, not helping my clients. But the best engagements of those pieces where we see time and time again, like we've had clients that, like we have a client that turned us down, like fired us for double-digit ROAS, right? Did like we double-digit ROAS on all Google, Facebook, and Amazon ads. It was great, but they still let us go because I mean, we're not the cheapest. They hired in-house, totally fine. But where they've responded back with a lot of really good conversation is where we stay top of mind on industry expertise. Mm-hmm. So this use case, this brand, they hired in-house someone who's now doing everything where previously we had 7 different people on that account. So when we can say, hey, it was an e-commerce brand. So, hey, the Facebook shops change. If you haven't installed Instagram checkout, you're going to fail this Black Friday. So it's just a quick update of like, hey, this is changing. Amara posted in like the M3 channel. She's like, hey guys, Google announced this core update. Being able to be ahead of the conversation before your customers get to do it, showcase your expertise, and then you get to use it as a like, hey, we'd love to help you out. If you don't know how to do it, like, let's talk about GA4 and what that switch means to your company. Or, hey, let's talk about how expensive ads are about to be September 15th. Or, hey, let's talk about the opportunities available to you for Q5, which is Christmas Day to New Year's Day. Having those allow you to just inform your potential new prospects or your like boomerang clients to come back in a way to see like, dang, I wasn't just paying a person to do stuff. I was paying a team to stay on top of stuff. Oh yeah, absolutely, Lynn. Can I copy and paste what she said? Like make them feel smart because they're going to learn something new. Like, oh my gosh. I'm just going to like put your hand here and be a ventriloquist because that was so much more eloquently put.
Melina, we're going to have you on next. Okay. We're going to hop on right now. We're just going to, all right, let's see. So multi-channel marketing landscape, all that good stuff. I'm curious about how agencies can integrate different channels cohesively. So that way there's like a unified holiday message rather than just like on Facebook, we're doing this. And on Instagram, we have this. Reddit, we have this.
Same by accident.
Unification.
Okay. Unification of having a consistent campaign. So if you're in the M3 dashboard there, I did a campaign sales where we just built this like template of pieces to it. But like for me, let's go back to like the Destruction Queen. You need to have like the obvious audience with a sexy offer. Plain and simple. And you need to start with an ethos, right? Like Schmeagol had his ring, the one ring to rule them all, right? One ring to find them, like one. You need to know what is your campaign idea? What is the total message? What is the root creative? What is the root message? And what is the root discount name? This is like, you asked her, like, what do things mess up? People make different discount codes because they're trying to over attribute tracking. Like, look, we're in a data imperfect world. You should be using server-side tracking. You should be like using 1,000 things outside of just the placements that you're using. Stop trying to focus on like direct attribution with like, here's a coupon code. Like, start from making sure foundationally you're set up. What is the message? What is the creative you're using? What is the code and the offer? Have those 4 things together. And then all their things are just like tactical. And you can make this, like you can say like, hey, you like literally take a piece of paper, core message, core offer, core creative, core discount code. Like what is the code name? And then you can have offshoots and you just put like, hey, okay, if we're doing Facebook, it's 1080 by 1080. If you're doing Pinterest, it's 1000 by 1500. All of this is 100% at your hands in 5 seconds or less with Google. I know Mark has made other templates too that show the different creative designs to translate it over, but it's just that you have to make your core image and you say, this is where I'm starting. And then you say, okay, now iterate. Where people will mess up is like, you're working in silos in your own agency. You have the people doing the Reddit campaign, you have the people going on the tweets, and you don't have, what is that core message? And it's not cohesive. It's just like people that aren't Lauren walking in really tall heels. I'm kidding. I really like wearing tall heels. And I hope I don't look like a dinosaur when I'm walking. But if you don't have your core message, core offer, core discount, your other campaigns will look like dinosaurs in really uncomfortable heels. And if your customer is uncomfortable, there's too much friction, they won't buy.
That is the best metaphor I think I've ever heard. Your other campaigns are going to look like dinosaurs in high heels. Which, in case you can't picture that, it's awkward and
A
messy.
thorn in the paw. A cat with a thorn. That's a good one.
But so this one kind of probably wouldn't be for agencies, but I'm just curious. When we're talking about incorporating channels, there are some that are emerging that aren't as common, but could be useful for, say, some e-commerce brands, such as voice search and augmented reality into campaigns. Do you have any thoughts on incorporating those type of things into your campaigns?
This is a recorded call. I can't say too much about things related to augmented reality and AI and metaverse stuff, just because I had a really great relationship with Meta. I was part of like 7 handpicked people in the entire US. I was on their global innovations committee using emerging products. So I'm a huge fan of leveraging augmented reality and other like experiential type of activations. For voice search, full disclosure, I have wanted to do voice search and figured out for like 4 years. I bought like a bunch of terms for Siri. That I'm in Orlando. I used to work for Disney. So that if someone was like, hey, Siri, or like, hey, Alexa, I was like, oh gosh, my devices are going to go off. Or anyone listening, their devices are going to go off. Like buying, that's just full disclosure. That's something I wanted to work on. It's a shiny object for me. So I have parked that. If anyone listening to this call does it, like, and you've got a case study, please, I have so many clients I would like to refer to you. But for the augmented reality, for the virtual reality, so it's mixed reality, augmented reality, virtual reality. Those are the 3 species. I can give you countless case studies of people abandoning the metaverse or people that aren't doing it. And so the competition is dumb. Full disclosure, it's not where it needs to be. But if you can use augmented reality or filters, like even on Instagram stuff, so things that we've had really successful is using quizzes. The consumer needs to be an expert before they will buy from you. That is just, we were at home during COVID. We all became experts in the 1,000 different LinkedIn certifications we took, all the new social profiles we started following. If I'm not an expert, I'm not giving you my money. You need to sell me on making sure that I feel confident in what I'm buying. So things that we have done really well, simple, you can use Spark AR to build games. So if you want to find, again, go back to the core, obvious audience with a sexy offer. You want people to know who's an obvious audience, you can make a quiz where all they have to do is move left or move right. And you give them A or B options, okay? You'd be like, well, say you're like, I want to find out who's a fan of Lauren, and besides my mom and my husband. Let's pretend I have fans besides my mom and my husband. Maybe Sin, but Sin's not on this call, so I have to like go back down to 2 people. But say it was like, hey, how well do you know Lauren? And let's say I made this a retargeting ad for people that are visiting my speaker page. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Like you attended an event or something like that. You're seeing this because you might have seen me like, okay, what color glasses does Lauren typically wear? Pink or purple? And then you move and you do this type of engagement, and then you reward them with something that's like, hey, awesome. Like it looks like you know Lauren better than her own husband. Great job. High five to you, because he still thinks I wear contacts. I don't know, whatever. You can have ways to engage with people in a way. And that quiz, if you can do it, like if you have beauty products, if you have agencies, like if you have clients that are in like the B2B space, and you can build who knows certain topics, and you can have relevant campaigns towards them for where they are in their user journey with you. It does make your ads more expensive because you're spending more on high funnel, but your closing is so much better, because if you can say like, hey, take this game to know, like, how well do you know the K-pop industry? And then if they know it really well, it's like, hey, it looks like you're like 6 members shy of a BTS team. Say you only got 1 out of 7 correct. You can try to retake this and then reward them. It's like, hey, awesome, here's a discount because you did it really well. Or like, if you get all 7 correct, there's a great surprise for you waiting on the back end. So when you go to like augmented reality, it is amazing. It's expensive. It's a shiny object to take on, but it's really, really not competitive. And you can get millions of engagements, millions of impressions that are all retargetable in a huge capacity. The best way we're seeing it is like using an interactive quiz.
That is amazing.
Under $5,000 to create. $20,000 to $60,000 ones are where you're using like full on augmented reality, and it's like your face, and you become like a little burger guy who's like running and doing your own temple run. Like those are $50,000, $60,000 products, but you can do under $5,000 for really basic, like left and right quizzes, and I'm talking about millions of impressions.
That is fantastic, especially for those type of brands like beauty brands, makeup, hair, dye,
Anything with education.
Yes,
And
that
even
is.
Digital Marketer had one. It's like, hey, are you really a media buyer? Like, how good is your media buying game? And then you ask, like, which iOS update destroyed marketers? I was 14. I was 15. And it's like, hey, what is the next iOS that's coming out?
Hopefully not.
Like, it looks like you need to take the media buying bootcamp. Or like, hey, you're so great. It looks like you need to become a guest speaker. We invite you to join the podcast or write a blog and send it to Cameron.
Yes, send them all to Cameron directly via carrier pigeon. So let's see, we got about 10 minutes left. So I wanted to ask you, what are some examples or some of your favorite brands that just do holiday campaigns right?
Holiday campaigns, right? You know, I have to come up with that list because I don't have an immediate holiday campaign one, but I can tell you brands I'm always obsessed with.
Let's go. I want that one too.
Bigblanket.co. They sell 10 by 10 blankets. They have really great responsive content that's UGC forward. Peach Aid. Hold on, what is it called? There's an underwear company called Peach Made. They have the best upsell products I've ever seen. They're designed for larger women so that you can wear your undergarments comfortably. They have authentic, like similar to Lumi the deodorant company, where you have like the people that created the product, why they created the product, and the storytelling of those type of pieces. Other brands that like always knock it out the park. Okay, Dollar Shave Club. They'll still have some really great stuff that I enjoy watching. I was like, if someone can give me an industry, I can tell you who those favorite. Actually, I think I may have that list somewhere. I was like, I feel like, Michelle, I've given you potentially like a list of this before. Anything that has come, like other things that look really well is if you're trying to creep, and you want to see, like, this is an easy one that I think most people know about is like, you can go to Facebook ads library, but you can also creep your Google ads competition stuff. It's super transparent. So look at who are the biggest, most funded people in your target segment. And then you can be like, I'm going to go look and see what they do. Sephora does a great holiday campaign, and they have, what's really great is their TV, YouTube, and others. When you talk about the diversity of like Twitter, Reddit, all those things, you'll see how the thread of their core message gets translated across different platforms. So do everything you can to get retargeted by Sephora.
Yes, that will be very difficult for me to get at Sephora.
Me is like, great, all of my ads are about to change.
You know, things happen. It's okay as long as you're getting value.
Yeah.
If anybody in the audience has any particular companies that have great holiday campaigns or just campaigns in general that you love, drop them in chat. Michael says Pandora. Yes.
Pandora, like Avatar Land. Pandora the bracelets.
Jewelry.
Pandora the music.
Oh wow, their music. I actually don't know that I've seen a
jewelry. Okay.
There we go. Yeah,
I haven't seen Pandora jewelry stuff. So that's a great tip if that's one that comes out. I haven't seen their holiday collections. Oh,
they have them. They definitely pop up for me when I'm doing my Christmas shopping.
Okay.
All I can think of are like the big ones, like the obvious ones, like M&M's and Budweiser and
yeah, like the Super Bowl commercial. Yeah, I was trying to think of like more smaller, like for sure. Anyone that's just got a Super Bowl commercial, you see anything that Ryan Reynolds owns as a company. Look at Mint Mobile.
Match.com, didn't he do some ads there too, where like the devil got matched with someone and then
yeah, wait, was that his ad?
Yeah, that was maximum effort.
No way. Yeah, he had that blind date and It was like the world turned into chaos.
And I'm not surprised at all. Ryan Reynolds, of course, he's a fantastic marketer. I mean, how do I say this politely? He's a class clown. And so they're very creative and they're very in tune with people. It makes total sense.
Can I give 2 hat tips of where people can look for really good ones? One, I love DigiDay. So digiday.com, DIGIDAY. They curate a lot of campaigns. And so like you'll get to see campaigns that are so far outside of your specific clientele. And then also Lee Kitchen, Lee Kitchen. He was an innovation catalyst. I worked with at Disney. And when I worked at the Walt Disney Company, I was on the innovation team. So my boss was the VP of creativity and innovation for all of Disney. And one of our projects was every month, we would put together 150 different kinds of campaigns and present out to the entire marketing team for the Walt Disney Company. And so we would talk about like what's in the market, like, oh, cool, you know, there's this new color that came out, or hey, like there's this new Vogue campaign. You'd pull all these different sources. So Lee Kitchen does an innovation report every Friday, once a month. He does it live on like Twitch and like all the socials. I'll give it because it's in my calendar. It's an inspiration report. A lot of the times we end up seeing a lot of the same stuff, and it can cause significant like obnoxiousness and noise in your marketing campaigns. So this is something that I personally love to attend. Those are my 2 hot tips. And also like they're really, really smart cookies. I will send the link in here when I find it.
So while we're on the link, we do have 5 minutes left, so I wanted to wrap it up with one final question. And that is, what are 3 actionable takeaways that the attendees can implement immediately to enhance their holiday marketing strategies?
One, in the next 3 weeks, create a campaign so you can say, hey, who wants to know our early Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales? Get people to opt in for your early sales, be transparent about what the sales are, and then be super clear. Your VIP, whether that's signing up for text or whatever, we will tell you our Black Friday sales. If you remember 10 years ago, you would go clip the papers, you'd go on the different website, Black Friday ads, and try to source, oh, what are the ads that are coming so people can prepare their money. Start creating a list of people that are your ideal customers, or going into your existing database and asking them, hey, do you want insight into our Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales? Getting them to re-opt in increases the engagement so that you're going to hit their inbox. Their inbox is going to be super crowded. So you want them to engage with you so that they're in your most engaged list. Cut the line for, ooh, that's good. Do you want to cut the line for Black Friday? I like that language, Melina. So that would be the one takeaway, like focus on your list building and list opting in for the people that are going to sales. 2, if you're doing a service option, offer a paid in full with a downsell of a payment plan. So if you're selling something for $19.97, maybe you offer, don't do more than 5 payment plans kind of thing, but say you break it up and it's like, hey, or like I've seen people with $197 a month for a bunch of years, but if it's like, hey, it's $19.97 or paid in full, or you can pay, you know, $4.99 a month for the next 5 months, then they'll end up paying more. There's those pieces. Having that as an option for your Black Friday, people are very sensitive to how much they're spending, and to give you $2,000 of their maybe $5,000 budget's a big ask, but to give you $500 every month for the next 5 months, which ends up being $2,500 instead of $19.97, great. Why that works is like Afterpay and a few other companies. Like the only unicorn company in Italy this last year was a company that did Afterpay, but in the Italian market. So people want now and are willing to, it's the credit card of your sales, so you can leverage that. And the third thing that I would do for Black Friday or for holidays in general is create your core offer, be hyper clear of what your sale is, and if this is your best sale of the year, do not lie. If you're doing a Labor Day sale that's 22% and your Black Friday sale is 30%, don't tell someone your best sale of the year is Labor Day. If you get caught lying, they will not trust you again, and it will hurt. So if Black Friday is truly your best sale of the year, you can say like, hey, maybe going back to the Melina, you want to cut in line. Hey, this is our Labor Day sale. P.S. If you buy during Labor Day, you can enter to win X, Y, and Z during our Black Friday sale campaign as well. So you can give those benefits. Just do not lie and do not deviate from whatever your core offer is. That's a 3.5-er.
Thank you for the 3.5-er. And just in my mark moment, let me just reiterate her first point there. Building that list is absolutely going to be so important right now. In general, it's very important, but it'll be super important moving forward. As Mark is always saying, you need to own the data now. You need to own the platform. The list is going to be the way to do that. Facebook campaigns are fantastic. Instagram, Meta in general, YouTube, all of that, they're great. But there is absolutely nothing like having direct access to your customer through a way that they opted in for. They raised their hand and said, I want to talk to you. I want you to talk to me. That list is going to be incredibly valuable to you. As long as you know you're nurturing it. If you send them stupid things, you're going to get stupid responses. Just saying. So we are at the top of the hour here. Lauren, where can people find you if they wanted to get in touch with you? I think you're muted again. I don't know how you did it, but
Zoomer Boomer in the house. Oh goodness. Lauren E for Elizabeth or extra, because I'm obviously extra. Petrullo on all socials or mongoosemedia.us is my company's website. I did put in the Slack, the Zoom chat, the information from the inspiration report, which is a calendar. It happened, the most recent one was Friday, August 11th. So it happens once a month, the inspiration report with Lee Kitchen. You can see it at Twitch or YouTube. I cannot recommend it more. Have your team watch it together. It's a really good, like, feel good to cut through a lot of the marketing noise and get stuff that literally the Walt Disney Company would do for their entire marketing department. And so if you don't think Walt Disney is good at marketing, well, okay, you don't trust my resume, but also whatever you DreamWorks fan you.
Got called out. But okay, thank you so much, Lauren. And of course, it is wonderful to have you here all the time. If you'd like to hear more from Lauren, Lauren E. Petrullo, absolutely everywhere. She is also one of our M3 coaches. And if you'd like to see some of the stuff in action that she was talking about, we actually, little slick little slide in here. We're currently launching our copywriting accelerator cohort. If you go to digitalmarketer.com/copy, you can see the full price and you can see the downsell for the payment plans. And you can also just see something that we're cooking up. No big deal. But y'all have a fantastic day and we will see you next week. Bye, guys.
Ciao.